The ex-wife of Detroit rapper Eminem is in court being sentenced for drunk driving.
Mathers says she intentionally slammed her SUV into a ditch and a utility pole before it landed upside down. Back then, she also openly admitted to the drinking.
How much do you have to drink today, Kim?
Like a bit.
What are you drinking?
I'm really, truly, deeply sorry for my actions that day. They were selfish, destructive. I didn't take into consideration anybody else's safety.
You've been drinking it all today? You're slurring really bad.
I did drink earlier, but not recently.
Okay. No. Did you have a lot earlier?
No.
Okay. Do you know what legally intoxicated is in the state of Michigan?
0.08.
0.08. You're 0.20. You're almost 3 times the legal limit. Okay. Turn for me. Unfortunately, I have to place you under arrest, okay? Go ahead and turn around for me. You put your hands behind your back.
Yo, Sue! Yeah, I'm right here. Get that prick out of my house out. Get the out, you motherfucker! Don't head. Well, she's getting charged because she bit me and kicked me. And I'm not kidding. If I come home in your hair,
That's fine. She's going to the hospital right now.
Write that down.
We got some wipes for you.
Where's she?
I have wipes in my car. Hang on for a
Oh my
minute.
God, right here.
Okay. I
Get
got
the out.
We'll get
For years, Kim Mathers has largely been known to the public as Eminem's ex-wife, but her story goes far beyond her relationship with him. Over the past 25 years, Kim has faced drug charges, probation violations, court-ordered treatment, multiple arrests, and attempts on her own life. And in 2026, she found herself back in the criminal justice system, facing several new charges after a series of impaired driving cases and reportedly trying to take her own life. So how did we get here? I'm True Crime Queen, let's get into it, roll the intro. Kim Mathers first became known to the public because of her relationship with Eminem, whose real name is Marshall Bruce Mathers III.
Growing up, we lived in Detroit. It was me and my sister and my mom. She was a single mother. We don't know our father. My mom was on welfare. We were so poor that my sister and I had to shoplift just to get food when we were between the ages of 4 and 5. We would literally end up walking the streets looking for food or money or asking for people for rides, strangers. My first year of high school was when I met Marshall. We would both walk in the front door and skip out the back door and walk to a friend's house and just hang out there all day. And had so many absences that we ended up failing, 9th grade 3 times.
By the summer of 2000, Kim and Eminem's relationship was already going through a turbulent period. The two met as teenagers in Michigan and had their only biological child together, Haley Jade, in December 1995. The couple had an on and off relationship for years before marrying in 1999. In July 2000, police were called to the couple's home in Sterling Heights, Michigan, after Kim, who was 25 at the time, attempted to take her own life. According to United Press International, Kim was taken to a hospital in Mount Clemens and later released. The report said the incident happened after Kim had attended one of Eminem's concerts. At the time, their relationship was already extremely turbulent and was receiving a huge amount of attention because Eminem was becoming one of the biggest names in music, and at that point, his 2 albums, the Slim Shady LP and the Marshall Mathers LP, both topped the Billboard Top 50 charts and sold millions of copies. The Detroit News said Eminem's 14-year-old half-brother, Nate Samra Mathers, told the rapper's grandmother that Kim had slit her wrists 5 times on both arms. Just over a month after the suicide attempt, Eminem filed for divorce. UPI reported at the time that the couple had separated following months of conflict. Now, by that point, Eminem had already made Kim the subject of 2 of his songs, which he imagined her passing, including 97 Bonnie and Clyde, released on the Slim Shady LP in 1999, and Kim, which was released on the Marshall Mathers LP in 2000. And both songs feature Eminem fantasizing about taking Kim's life. He also had a tombstone tattoo on his stomach reading "Kim, rot in pieces."
He is supposed to be the man that loves me and is supposed to protect me, from being hurt. And here he is, completely and totally disrespecting me in the worst way possible in front of millions of people. I went with my sister and some friends and had asked him before we went to the show if he was going to perform that song. He said, no, because I know that you're going to be there and I wouldn't do that to you. Sure enough, he decided to do that song and not only perform the song, but use blow-up dolls to reenact like me being choked and just disrespectful things to the blow-up doll, and then threw the doll into the crowd. And I immediately left after that. I got into a car accident on the way home. I was so upset. I made it home and I went upstairs in my bathroom and I slit my wrist and ended up in the hospital.
In June 2003, Kim was pulled over by police in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, after failing to move over for a stopped police cruiser on Interstate 94. Police found her driving on a revoked license and during the search found 2 plastic bags containing a white powdery substance, one on Kim and another in the glove compartment of her Cadillac Escalade. Police sent the substance to a lab to determine whether it was coke, and a few weeks later, Kim surrendered to police and pleaded innocent to drug possession, driving on a revoked license, and failing to use due care when passing an emergency vehicle. She was released on a $7,500 bond. But that wasn't the only drug-related case she was facing. Police also found people using drugs in a hotel room that had been rented under Kim's name. The incident resulted in a separate charge of maintaining a drug house. Kim ultimately pleaded guilty to cocaine possession and the traffic-related charge. On February 12, 2004, she was sentenced to 30 days in jail, followed by 90 days of intensive inpatient rehabilitation. The separate charge of maintaining a drug house was dismissed as part of the plea agreement. She was also placed on 2 years probation. On February 6, Kim reported for a scheduled meeting with her probation officer. She was told that a urine sample she had submitted the previous week had tested positive for coke. Kim admitted to using and was charged with violating her probation. She was sent to the Macomb County Jail, then she was released on March 1st to enter the rehabilitation program. UPI reported that she would serve the next 90 days in jail instead of completing the program, rather than in the rehab center where she initially was admitted. Details about her rehab center rule of violations were not disclosed. In June 2004, Kim was arrested at a hotel in Ann Arbor, Michigan, after leaving the drug treatment program. A judge ordered her to serve the remaining 74 days of her previous 120-day jail sentence. In September 2004, Kim was released from jail early so she could enter Hazelden, which is a drug treatment center in Center City, Minnesota. She had been sentenced to 120 days in jail and wasn't originally scheduled for release until December of that year. Instead, Michigan correctional officials said she would spend 30 days in treatment. If she successfully completed the program, she would continue her 2-year probation, which was scheduled to end in January 2006. And after that, Kim largely stayed out of the spotlight for the next decade. Now, jumping back a little bit, Kim and Eminem's first marriage ended in October 2001 after about 2 years. Their divorce included a custody fight over their daughter Haley. The two initially reached an agreement to share custody of her.
It just seems like ever since he's got, famous, blew up, our relationship went downhill from there. He became arrogant and cocky, and everything that he did for me or the kids, he has to be praised for. He's so used to getting so much attention, people praising him for his work, that he expects that when he comes home, and it's not the same. I don't look at him like that, I'm not putting you up on a pedestal. You're not that person to me, and that's what he wants all the time, and it didn't work out.
According to Fox News, Kim and Eminem eventually reconciled, and on January 14, 2006, they remarried. But their union only lasted for about 3 months. On April 5, 2006, Hollywood Life reported at the time that Eminem had filed for divorce, saying that the marriage had broken down. The language in the court filing stated, quote, "There had been a breakdown in the marriage relationship to the extent that the objects of matrimony have been destroyed and there remains no reasonable likelihood that the marriage can be preserved." Kim subsequently sought joint custody of Haley. The second divorce was finalized in December 2006, and by that time, Haley was about 10 years old, and Kim and Eminem agreed to share custody of her. After the second divorce in 2006, Kim once again laid low for almost a decade. That changed in October 2015. On October 7th, Kim crashed her Cadillac Escalade into a utility pole near the corner of 23 Mile and Card Roads in Macomb Township, Michigan, with the vehicle landing upside down in a ditch, trapping her inside before authorities were able to remove her, according to the publication Click on Detroit. Then in January 2016, Kim suffered a devastating blow when her twin sister, Dawn Scott, died at 41 years old from a suspected heroin overdose in a Warren, Michigan trailer park, as Us Weekly reported at the time. Dawn was the biological mother of Kim's niece, Elena, who Eminem had legally adopted and raised with Kim years earlier. Several months later, in May 2016, Kim told the Detroit radio show, Mojo in the Morning, that the crash had been intentional. She said she had been drinking, had taken pills, and deliberately aimed for the pole because she no longer wanted to live. Kim claimed at the time that she had been clean for about 10 years, but admits she struggles with living in the public eye. She said she had suffered from depression, especially after Dawn's passing. The crash resulted in a DUI case, and in November 2016, Kim pleaded no contest and was sentenced to 1 year of probation and $900 in fines. A judge also ordered that Kim continue with counseling and submit to random alcohol testing 4 times a month. She would also have to submit to drug testing twice a month. Then on July 30th, 2021, police and emergency responders were called to Kim's Michigan home after a report of a suicidal person. According to a police report obtained by Hollywood Life, officers found Kim on the bathroom floor with deep lacerations on her legs and a large amount of blood around her. TMZ reported that she was taken to a hospital for medical and psychological evaluation. And that takes us to 2026. On February 16th, according to the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office in Michigan, Kim was driving a white Range Rover when she hit a Dodge Ram pickup truck, pushing it approximately 50 feet. Prosecutors also believe that she was impaired at the time. On May 11th, Kim appeared before the judge and pleaded no contest to operating while impaired and failure to stop after an accident. But just 2 days later, Kim was arrested again. According to another Macomb County Prosecutor's Office release, on May 13th, Kim was driving a 2026 Kia in Chesterfield Township when she allegedly hit a parked Jeep Cherokee. Prosecutors again said she was intoxicated at the time. This time, she was charged with operating while intoxicated, third offense, which is the felony, carrying a maximum of 5 years in prison. After she appeared in court on May 28th, the judge gave Kim a $5,000 personal bond and ordered her not to consume alcohol or drugs. She was also ordered to use an alcohol monitoring device and undergo a psychiatric evaluation to determine whether she should receive intensive outpatient or inpatient treatment. Then, in June of that year, Kim missed several court hearings, and according to USA Today, she failed to appear for a sentencing hearing and a bond modification hearing in the February case, as well as a probable cause conference in the third offense operating while intoxicated case. The court issued warrants which were canceled 2 days later after Kim appeared in court. USA Today also reported that prosecutors alleged that she had violated her alcohol monitoring device 4 times since May 28th. On July 11th, police and emergency personnel were called to Kim's home after a relative reported that she had cut her wrist. TMZ later obtained the 911 dispatch audio in which the incident was reported as a suicide attempt, and Kim was taken to the hospital.
Caller says his aunt cut her wrist and she's bleeding. She's currently sitting on the couch listening to music. The knife is in her hand and she will not give it to the caller. Kim Mathers. 70 dispatch. So she still has the pocket knife. Paper, it's in her hand. She's unconscious now.
Police later accused Kim of becoming combative when officers attempted to intervene, including allegedly biting and kicking an officer. USA Today reports that she was charged with 2 felony counts involving assaulting, resisting, or obstructing a police officer. Kim has pleaded not guilty, and those allegations remain pending. According to Click on Detroit, prosecutors told the court that the company monitoring Kim's alcohol tether had reported repeated violations of her bond conditions. Her attorney asked that she be allowed to enter the treatment voluntarily, while prosecutors argued that she failed to enter a treatment program for approximately 2 months. On August 13th, the judge revoked Kim's bond and ordered her held in the Macomb County Jail. A spokesperson for the prosecutor's office, Esther Wolf, told USA Today that Kim could be released if she gets into an inpatient treatment center. Kim, who's now 51, now has 3 pending cases in the 42nd District Court. According to USA Today, all 3 proceedings are scheduled for October 14th of 2026. That includes sentencing in the 2 misdemeanor cases stemming from the February crash, a probable cause conference in the May 3rd third offense operating while intoxicated felony case, and a probable cause conference in the July case involving the 2 felony charges related to the alleged confrontation with police, according to USA Today. And aside from Haley Jade, who I mentioned earlier, Kim also has 3 other children: Stevie Lane, who was previously known as Whitney Scott Mathers and was adopted by Eminem, Parker, her son from another relationship, and Elena, who is Kim's niece, who Eminem also adopted and helped raise. If you or someone you know is affected by any of the issues that I mentioned in this story, call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988-CHAT on 988lifeline.org, or text the Crisis text line at 741-741. Y'all, this was a really sad case to cover. As a huge Eminem fan, I always, of course, knew about his ex-wife and who she was and everything, but I never quite knew the extent of, all of her arrests and attempts on her life. I do remember reading about one of the times that she attempted to take her own life, and I was just like, whoa, like, what is going on here? But until I started working on this case and saw her latest arrest after the making of this video, I had no idea the full extent of everything and the fact that it goes back so many years. So I definitely wish her all the best, and I really hope that she can, make it through and get the help that she needs. Well, that'll do it for this video. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Please leave respectful comments in the comment section down below. Love y'all for watching. Bye.